spell that right. Quaint little village has many sights to see. You should try exploring some of them. I know of several places you should want to visit, and once you have, come back and see me. So, you know, you have to be creative here. I'm just throwing this in for demonstration purposes, but you can make this as, you know, as simple or as complicated as you want. So this is the offer. Now, once a player will get the option now to, you know, decline the quest or accept the quest, and if they decline, then okay, they've declined. But if they accept the quest, it'll go in their journal and it's ready for them to go. If a player, you know, comes back and talks to John the Greeter before they finish the quest, well, that's what our quest reminder box is for. Now, sometimes you can just, you know, copy the offer and put it into reminder just to tell the player this is what I wanted you to do, kind of thing. Or you can just put in something totally different. So in our example, we're just going to say explore the town, and I'm sure you'll find all sorts of interesting places. Okay, so simple as that. So if the player gets the quest, they haven't completed all the objectives, they come back, they talk to John the Greeter. This is what John the Greeter is going to say. This quest reminder, just reminding you, I want you to go do something. Now, we already decided in our plan that our quest is going to have one NPC, and that would be John the Greeter. So, of course, John the Greeter is going to be the guy who finishes the quest. He's the last guy in the quest. So we want to check this box saying quest finisher. When a player finishes all of his objectives that John the Greeter has asked him to complete, the player will come back and talk to John Greeter, and this is what John Greeter will say. Well done, friend. You've found plenty of things to do in our town. I'm sure, it is good to see another adventurer ready to make their mark on the world. You know, whatever, something simple. So that's the finish, and you know, the player hits the finish button. They get some 50 experience points, and away we go. So that's the meat and potatoes of the quest, what the player will see and interact with. Now, of course, we do have some objectives. John the Greeter actually wants the player to go do something, and we haven't defined that anywhere. And that's what this objectives box is for. So this is probably one of the most important sections of the quest plugin. What do I actually want the player to do? We know from our plan we want the player to explore some places. So we're going to have to add some objectives to this quest. So John Greeter wants us to do these tasks. Let's do that. So we click Add to create a brand new objective. Here are some of the objectives that John Greeter can get a player to do. So the first objective is we're going to get the player to visit the docks. One important thing to note is that the objectives are not in a particular order. If we ask the player to explore 5 places, they can go explore whatever 5 places in any order they want. So we don't worry about a particular order when we're talking about multiple objectives on one NPC. So we wanted him to discover a place. So that's what this one's for. So we'll click Discover a Place, and the objective as seen in the journal. So explore the docks. There we go. What is discovered? The docks. So we'll leave the rest at that. So the objective as seen in the journal, this is what we see in the journal as an objective. The player will, you know, refer to their journal from time to time and try and remember what they're supposed to be doing. The journal will show what the NPC has told them to do, and it'll also have a little summary of what objectives the player has. This one will show up as Explore the Docks. When we arrive at the docks, the player will be notified that they've completed this objective with a message that appears in the middle of the screen. Because this is a discover a place type objective, what will happen is the player will see the words you have discovered and this message here, the docks. This checkbox here saying text only when I have this turned on, what happens is the part of the message in the message box that says "you have discovered" won't show up, and only this text will appear. For this example, I'm not going to need that. I actually want the player to see "you have discovered the dock," so I'm going to leave that off. And then I'm going to hit Finish. Now, as you can see here, I have one objective to explore the docks, but I want the player to do more than just explore the docks. I want them to do a bunch of things. I actually want them to explore several places. So I'm going to add another one, another discover a place. This one is going to be explore the wizard. I'm just going to say explore the tower. And what is discovered? You have discovered the wizard tower. Finish. And we'll add another one. Discover place. And we'll say explore the great statue. I found the great statue. Oops. Now, if you're being clever and thinking about this, you can actually put whatever you want in here. This has no bearing on the actual Quest plugin operation itself. All the Quest plugin cares about is if you've completed this objective. What you actually say in the journal is up to you, and what you actually show the player when they've reached it is up to you too. You don't actually have to put this in. You put whatever you want in. So it doesn't really matter. So let's do a couple more. Let's say we want you to explore Town Hall. And what is discovered? Town Hall. Finish. So that's, what do we got? We got 4 there, so let's add another one. Discover place, and we'll say, explore the copper. I kind of like, yeah, I'm a little anal like that. The copper mines. There we go. Finish. And what the hell, we'll do one more. This will be the explore the stables. There. So we've got 6 objectives here. Now again, if we wanted to edit one objective, we can just highlight it, hit edit. If we want to remove an objective, we just highlight it and hit delete. So these are our 6 objectives, so we're pretty happy with those. Pretty self-explanatory. We want the player to go and explore 6 places in any order they like. So that's the objectives. The next thing, we're not going to need anything else in this section, but I will just briefly talk about the other 2 areas here. Prop item. This is an item that this NPC John Greeter will give a player upon accepting the quest. So it's basically prop item and a quantity quest tool. We'll get into that in a later video. So this is basically just John Greeter wants you to deliver an item or use a stick of dynamite to blow up something or whatever, but he's going to give you an item at the beginning of the quest when you accept his step. And again, this prop item remove is, will John Greeter remove a particular prop item that he's given you in the past or something like that. So we can leave that blank for this one. This section here, quest only spawns, this is only visible because I have the spawn plugin active. Quest only spawns means spawn a creature or a placeable object only if the player is in the vicinity and that player is on this quest. So this is kind of handy if you have, for example, there's a lot of applications for this. Say, for example, you've got a cave full of, creatures, and, adventurers, they go in and they fight the creatures for whatever reason they want, and they come and go and whatnot. But let's say there's a chieftain of this cave. Normally the chieftain isn't going to be there. We only want the chieftain to appear when someone needs him or if someone is on a quest that includes him. So I go into this cave, I fight off a couple of these guys, I leave the cave, okay, everything's great. Now all of a sudden I get a quest to go, and the quest is telling me, go to that cave and search out the chieftain. I automatically tell myself, well, there's no chieftain in that cave. However, that's not necessarily true. Because of this part of the quest plugin, that chieftain can appear just because I'm on the quest. So that's what these are. So we'll explain how those work a little bit more in a later quest. So that's it for the first NPC. So, I just want to make one comment here. You can have up to 10 objectives listed here. So I've got 6, but you can have up to 10 objectives. Um, Now, I'm done my first NPC, and I've only got one NPC in this. However, sometimes I may have multiple NPCs in my quest, so one of my objectives may be to speak to a different NPC. Now that this NPC is done, I'll click next, but what I'll get is I'll actually get the screen for NPC 2. If I happen to have or need a second NPC in this quest, this is where I would start filling out this box for NPC 2. And likewise, if I had if NPC 2 says I need to go speak with NPC 3, once I finish filling out this one, I would go and discuss things with NPC, and so on and so forth. And of course, each NPC can have their own 10 objectives as well. So, I might say, NPC 1 might say,